Call Allah Yahweh Bashim Abishai, Bashim Akakodash, double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone rule well. I am not a member, however, I have entered into their labors. Peace and mercy to the sincere brothers and sister students, wherever you already lot may be. Another quick one. One of the big updates, right? Nice quick little MOTB, or the injectable for the detectable. And just remember, not remember, for lack of a better term, I should say, be forewarned that people will probably try to say that this new digital ID is the MOTB, but it's not. It is the implantable, right? The device, that injectable for the detectable. That is what it is. Not the ID, not yet, but this is a step closer. So, anybody telling you any different, or anybody still denying it, right? Isaiah 8 and 20, which we'll go ahead and I'll just read it here. Okay, to the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them, and there's a bunch of dark people, lightless people, or their light is darkness. They're going to start popping out of the woodworks, okay, with the quote-unquote C theory. And also because of that can give, I think that would give the global elite the advantage on this part, allowing the unlearned to muddy the waters, right? There was a operation that they just released a bunch of different things, a bunch of different weird theories and stuff, and the ones that people bid on is how they were able to categorize, certain groups of people. Not to mention that there is controlled opposition, and those who, like Alex Jones, who link, whom also they will link people to. But anyway, I say all that to say that now more than ever, keep your eyes peeled, keep your head on a swivel, right? Whatever you lack, pray for. Whatever you struggle with, you need to fight those demons. You need to continuously strive to be in the spirit. I know things can get rough and you can feel unmotivated because this devil was given the power to wear out the saints, and that he is doing. And there's times where you just want to lay there and, be in folly. But I'm preaching to self. You gotta get up and do something productive. Not only, worldly productive, but also spiritually productive as well. So let's go ahead, let this play. We'll get what we need to get as far as precepts in between times.
Taking all the tech giants, all the bank CEOs with him, all of these major CEO companies flew with President Trump to meet with Xi Jinping. So there are two major breaking stories today. If you're not caught up, I'm gonna catch you up. First, let's start with international breaking news. In the United Kingdom, King Charles announced today that they are going to go full force with the digital ID infrastructure, which is going to take over the banking system along with your physical identity, your physical digital structure.
My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services.
Basically, Starmer made it very clear at the beginning of this year that if you do not comply with this digital ID infrastructure that's going to be implemented, which was now validated by King Charles, that you are going to have a hard time getting socially verified.
All right, because that you have the financial arm of this, which is in London, the city of London, located inside of London. You have the war arm, which is DC, and then you have the religious arm in the Vatican, and they operate in all manner of wickedness and circumvent any true morality with those three different, especially with the religious arm. They did it as well with the C-19, and the Pope came out and said, yes, the pokey is all good to go, right? Changing times and laws and things of that nature, as Daniel 8 and 25 says that they would do. And since the earth is given into their hand, right, they have almost reached a perfection of wickedness. Revelation 13 and 16, he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a blank, right, in their right hand or in their forehead. You cannot buy or sell without it, right? You cannot conduct business And furthermore, she's going to go in to tell you that, as they say, it'll be very hard socially for you. And I imagine they would start with those who are dependent on the government, and then kind of branch out, and then make it voluntary, and make it, give incentives. And then the more and more people resist, then, that's when that great wrath and he's is going to be forced. And at that point, that's the temptation, okay, that shall come upon us all at some point in time. And my prayer is always that my faith and my integrity remain intact in that day, because we don't know, you never know what you'll do, what you'll say, what you'll feel in the moment, right? So it's best to build that inner man and build that relationship, right, with Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, so or at least you can operate with a little more confidence, right, knowing that you did what you could. You did everything to the best of your ability, and now you put it in the Lord's hands. I did what you said to the best of my ability, and you let go. Like, as the Christians say, let go and let God. At that point, that's really all that you can do. And it is designed that way. There is no saving yourself. There is no buying land and private property or none of that, because at the end of the day, in order to operate, you would have to operate within this devil's system. They have destroyed enough infrastructure in order to centralize goods and services. That's why you got to subscribe. You got to have a subscription for every damn thing, right? And at one point, you could go outside and pick fruit off of a tree. I dare you to try and find something like that now.
You understand? Socially verified, that if you do not verify yourself or comply with this system, you cannot participate in the society.
And it'll be under the guise of peace and safety. So expect more FALSE, Expect more of those, because that's what they do. They create a problem, and then they say, well, hey, if we can, we can just identify everyone, make sure things online are in line, and everybody, we know who's who. We can get you resources. We can make sure that everything's on the up and up. We can, restore order. We can restore you back to the normal that you think that you're going to get. But the more and more you give up, the deeper you sink, right? And most folks don't know that, but they're going to have a crash course. But the general population, I think the people of the world, they kind of understand where things are going for the most part, which, will bring about also 2nd Ezra 15 about the rioting in the streets and the civil unrest and things of that nature.
Understand that part. President Trump did not travel to China alone. He took all the tech mongols, the tech giants, the big companies, banking infrastructure CEOs, BlackRock, all the creatures, the swamp of the deep state, like the people that we were supposed to drain. He took those vultures, those creatures are now leached on to the president, flew with him to China to meet with Xi Jinping. The same day that King Charles announces that digital ID will be going live soon. What is the one thing that China has mastered in the past century? If you have been following the meetings in Davos, you are going to understand that Klaus Schwab himself said
Yeah, and I remember that article, right, with the social credit scores and the heavy monitoring and things of that nature. That is exactly what they want worldwide, right? That is how you cause all, both small, great, rich, and poor, free and bond, to receive what they want you to receive, okay? And that way you cannot buy, everything will be tied to a social score. Or however, whatever infrastructure, infrastructure may change from country to country, but I think the core of it will remain the same. The information that gets funneled will be, in these centralized data centers. And obviously these data centers, they will have redundancy. Some will be in, some will probably be in China or whatever. Some will be in is not placed, and some will be around, where they already are in Babylon. And it will look like he's going to succeed, right? That's what it says in Job. It looked like he will have he will get the dub, and then boom, right when he wants to sit and enjoy the fruits of his quote unquote labor, because it was not labor at all. It was, riches got by deceit. And I'll grab that really quick. I'll just let her finish talking.
Single nation needs to look to China when it comes to digital surveillance and one governing system transition into the new world order. Our president, who was supposed to drain the swamp, has taken the swamp with him to China to negotiate and broker deals on behalf of the American people. And
so let me just get the scripture I said I was getting. This is Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 10, verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And that's why I mentioned their quote-unquote labors. It is all unrighteous dealings, injuries, and everything done by deceit. Right? As he thinks he's going to sit down and rest on his laurels, right? The Lord will have returned to him. Tip over that recliner he's sitting in, knock his drink on the floor, and let him know it's over for you.
These deals, I tell you, my friend, are going to involve the digital infrastructure surveillance system. You can take that to the bank. Why would President Trump?
You definitely can, pun intended, take it to the bank. You're already here. You're already with the flock surveillance, and you got to register for every single thing. I remember a point in time where you can get on the internet and just do what you need to do and get off. Now everything requires a subscription. Now everything requires verification. They did it slowly but surely. Now you got these passkey things when you're trying to log into your different sites. Right? So, as you can see, we are marching towards the inevitable. And the inevitable will at first be scary, and then, it's over, it's done, right? It's always darkest before dawn, and dawn is the return of Yahweh Shai, right? The sun, S-O-N. But until then, occupy until he comes, right? And continue to pray and meditate on victory, thinking positive, right? Building your faith. Now is not the time to be weak. Now is not the time to be unsure. Now is not the time to hold on to things of the world. Because you cannot keep it. It's over. All right. So with that being said, on to the next.